And joining me right now here on the Mark Moses Show, joining me on the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios is the head football coach of, yes, the defending state champions for
Three
high
times.
school. Three
Three
times.
times.
I have to make sure. I have to make sure. Three times, baby. Ryan Schneider, head coach of Cocoa High School. My man, how you doing today?
Doing excellent, man. I really appreciate you having me.
I tried to you are the defending champs, but do you like to do that? Do you have like a T-shirt that says 3 times in a row now? 3-peat? What do we do?
We're trying to get to the point where we're going to say 6-peat, but we're just one day at a time, and keep moving forward.
Did you have a nice off season, summer with the family, friends? Did you do that before we got to this grind?
When you love what you do, there's no such thing. We've been here every day, Monday through Thursday. 9 o'clock till about noon, working out with the kids. Just trying to get better. We did a bunch of community service this summer. With the kids, got our players really involved more in the community, and it's been a great time. I'm really excited about this team. It's a bunch of new guys that people might not know of, but they're going to know these guys, and I'm excited about the direction we're heading.
I asked a lot of coaches here in Brevard this question, especially with camp starting. It's like 100 degrees every day. Do you guys go early in the morning after school? How do you try to tackle it?
So we go in the afternoon. We go, we're on the field at 4:30. So, by then it cools off a little bit. And, we're just smart. The state sets guidelines with the wet bulb. And there's certain things we have to have in the field when it comes to cold tubs and certain ways of, worst case scenario, if something happens, we have ways to cool kids off quickly. We follow all the guidelines. We follow all the rules. We try to be smart. We tell our coaches, or I tell my coaches all the time to, our kids are tough. Our kids are in shape. Our kids want to work hard, but let's not be stupid. If you want to take their helmets off for a period while we do a walkthrough or while we do certain individual drills, take their helmets off. Let's be smart. Let's treat these young men like they're our children, not like they're just guys, out here playing football. Let's treat our guys right, and we really stress that too. In the program.
What do you want to accomplish here in fall camp with your players and coaching staff to get ready for another season?
We have Bradford, for the Kickoff Classic, and they're a really good team. We played them 2 years ago in the state championship game. They're coming here thinking they're going to beat us, and we have to be ready. We have to be ready to go. So, we have to come together as a team. We have to, start executing the plays a little bit better. But we've been working hard, and I think we're in a really good spot right now. We're not. Are we a championship caliber team right now? No. But I will tell you, over the first week of practice, a week and a half of practice, you can see the trajectory starting to head the right way. You can see us starting to get in a good rhythm and starting to really understand what we're really good at.
You talk about winning 3 straight state championships. What does it take at your level to win a state championship there at Cocoa?
There's a lot of things, man. It comes down to, you're going to need some luck. There's always breaks that happens in games that, if a couple things go different, maybe you don't win a game, maybe you don't win the 4th round, playoff game, maybe you don't win the 3rd round playoff game. So there's always a bit of luck. But I'm a firm believer, if you're a good person, just not on the field, but more importantly in the classroom, at home, in the community, if you're just a good person and you work hard, good things are going to happen for you. And we just stress that. We stress, just be a good person and work hard, do things the right way. It's okay to say please and thank you. It's okay to say yes, sir, and no, ma'am. It's okay to be a good person and lead the right way. Be a leader, in our school, be a leader in our community. And when you do those things, good things usually happen for you.
We're here with Ryan Schneider, head football coach at Cocoa. He's getting ready for another season of football starting at the end of this month. And look, Kickoff Classic, what is it, the 15th?
Yeah, not this Friday, next Friday. We're ready to roll. And in the jungle, baby, we'll be ready to go.
What is the identity? Like if space aliens land on this planet and say, what's Cocoa football? What does it mean to you exactly?
I'm going to use the word legacy. It's a legacy. And, each year we talk to the kids about what's your legacy going to be. How are you going to leave this program? Are you going to leave the jersey in a better spot than you found it? And Coach Wilkinson's done an unbelievable job of building Cocoa to what it is. And I was lucky enough to get this job and to keep that tradition going. But, Cocoa is just a legacy program. You go throughout the country. It's like Miami Northwestern, St. Thomas Aquinas. Everyone knows what Cocoa is throughout this country, and it's an honor to be here. But at the same time, there's pressure on that. There's pressure to don't let down the previous 100 years of guys who played here. We're this is the 100th year of Cocoa football, and it's been 100 years of greatness, and we want to keep that tradition going. We want to keep that legacy going.
We're with Ryan Schneider. I was talking about scheduling with different guys here in the county, like Alan Slaughterzinski, Tim Walters. Everyone does a great job covering it, so I want to give them some love there. We talked about the scheduling because I know O'Galley, Titusville, and you guys were kind of the front runners of this, where you had to get a tougher schedule. Why did you think it was important the last couple of years to create this tougher schedule for you guys?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer. You want to put your kids in adverse situations. You want to put your kids throughout the regular season in situations that they're not going to be successful in, situations that are going to be difficult, situations that, you're playing other great teams that are going to push you to the boundaries. The first year we won our state championship, I think we won that state championship because we went down to St. Thomas and played them. And there are some things they did against us as coaches. We looked at it and said, oh, wow, like this protection and this formation isn't sound. We have to go back and fix some X's and O's. We have to go back and fix some personnel decisions. And if you don't play those teams, if you're playing a bunch of cupcakes that you're running clocking all the time, you're not going to find out what you're good at, what you're bad at. That when you do have to play a Cardinal Mooney or a Berkeley Prep in the third, fourth round, you're ready to go. That what your flaws are, what you're great at, what how you can attack people, and your kids have been in situations before where that the crowd might be going nuts, and it might be a road game that you have to walk into averse places and have to perform and have to be focused and have to be able to handle. Yeah, so something bad happened. How are we going to handle that? Are we going to fold, or are we going to get back up and keep on pushing forward? And that's a big thing.
For all the fans out there, how do you schedule? Is it you and your AD? Do you do this in the spring? How do you try to put this together to play all these teams?
It's more difficult than you would think, just because it's hard to get teams to agree to play us. We're a 2A school. We have, in the high school here, I think it's like 975 kids. So we're not a huge program when it comes to size. So a lot of the bigger programs kind of maybe sometimes look down on us because we're not a huge school. So it's difficult to schedule us. But it's funny. I feel like this year we've had more in-county teams willing to play us. Maybe they think we're down. Maybe they think, we lost, a really good senior class, that Cocoa won't be as good. We'll see. We'll see how the season goes.
You're ready. You're ready.
Oh,
Was that like a WWE, like Hulk Hogan, The Rock type promo? That's what it sounded like, Coach. I like it.
Yeah. No, it's just, it's in the past years, you'd call people and they say, oh, no, we can't play you this year. Well, this week's not open, or this, and all of a sudden, yeah, Coach, we'll be happy to play you. Okay. Yeah, we'll see.
Well, I know you're very proud also of Brevard County, not just Cocoa, but I know you want the whole county. Maybe not when they're playing you personally, but I know you cheer for all these guys here, right, in Brevard County.
Yeah. I mean, when the county is a strong county, it's going to help, our kids. It's actually going to help our kids get to college. If what Coach Sands is doing at O'Galley, what Coach Diesel is going to do at Titusville, they're going to have successful seasons that now, college coaches coming to see, our, Champ, or, any of our kids, they come to see CJ Hester, they're going to ask me, well, who else should I go see? I'm going to go see, the old lineman down at Titusville is really good, or the DB at O'Galley is really good. Get around and go see, some of these schools. When you have more teams have successful seasons, it helps our kids get recruited.
Tell us about, first off, your coaches. They need to get some love. Let's give it to a minute. The floor is yours.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been blessed at Cocoa to be surrounded by, 18 coaches on my staff who are all, professional, serious coaches. They do a great job, from Coach Folson. Coach Minifield, the new defense coordinator, is doing an unbelievable job. Coach Hepper, and our new O-line coach, has fit right in perfectly, brought some toughness and brought some real grittiness up front. And, Coach Franco does an unbelievable job. Coach Kamika does a great job for us. Coach Spencer, who's the assistant head coach, literally helps me so much, just keeping stuff off my desk, because I don't have to deal with it. He's, cutting problems off before they even get to me. And that's a huge part of our success is the men and the people around me that have helped our program great. And it also comes from our administration. Miss Stewart, our principal, does a great job. She supports our program. She supports what we do. And all our administrators and our faculty. This it's a really family atmosphere. And Cocoa is a very special place to be. It's no secret. The last 2 or 3 off seasons. I've had Georgia schools coming after me, Georgia schools and, other high schools from out of state asking me to apply for, jobs or asking me to, would I be interested, coming up there. And, Coco's a special place, man. It's a real family. It's a real home. I love it here. I love the community. I love this city. I love this school. I love the people. And, I'm proud to be a Tiger. And, I'm going to hopefully keep this thing going for the next, 40 years and retire Cocoa Tiger and be a happy old man sitting on the beach drinking a beer.
Okay, I'm going to use that clip right there. That was awesome, dude. I know all the Cocoa fans want to hear that. They do. The ultimate compliment I give you to other people, now you don't have to answer this if you don't want, is Cocoa was a great school, ran the football, played defense. You still do that. But I said what you brought to the table as a former quarterback, you gave a hot rod a brand new engine where you said, we're going to throw the ball, we're going to score points. Do you feel that way where you took this offense to the next level?
It's not me. It's a we thing. Like I said, the coaching staff is unbelievable, and I'm surrounded by really good coaches. We have unbelievable players. It was funny. We had a couple new teachers, joining school, and I had one of the teachers come ask me, what's the secret to your success? And I was like, we have really good players. It's not that difficult. You have really good players. They make you look smart. They make you look good. The biggest thing I'm really proud of, though, is, if you look at a lot of the schools in the state, Manatee, Tallahassee, Lincoln, multiple other schools, when head coaches who are Hall of Famers, which Coach Wilkinson is, when those guys move on, usually those schools have a huge dip. Usually those schools dip off and don't have as much success as they have in the past. And we've kept it going. And that's what I'm really proud of. And like I said, though, a lot of that credit, goes to the guys around me. A lot of that credit goes to the men and the people who I work with every day. And, it's a real family. It's a real togetherness. And, that's why we're going to have success. And that's why we're going to keep having success.
Great answer. I love it. That's why you're the head coach there at Cocoa High School. Before I let you go, let's talk about your players. All right. Before we talk 5-star, they're going to this school, how important is it for them to make sure they go to class, do their homework, be a student?
Well, that's the biggest part. That's the part that people don't realize. In the day and era of the transfer portal, in the day and era of college coaches having literally no job security, if you don't have a 3.0, you're not going to college. The magic number is a 3.0. You need to have a 3.0. You need to be a good student. You need to have good attendance. You need to do things the right way. If you are out there getting suspended, if you're out there walking with a 2.4 GPA, it's not going to work out for you. That's the biggest, most important part. You can be the best athlete of all time. If you have a 2.4, I promise you, a college coach is not going to take a chance on a kid he does not trust. They have no job security. They're going to go, well, the kid has a 2.4. Yeah, he might run a 4.4 and jump out the damn gym and be huge. But he has a 2.4. Don't trust him. Let's go get the college kid that we know has been in college, that we know knows how to wake up, that we know that knows how to go to class. I'm going to trust that kid before I trust a young kid that hasn't done anything yet. So if you're not doing things the right way, you're going to have a real hard time finding a home. So that's what we stress to our guys. They're on board with it, and that's why we'll be able to get a lot of kids into college. And they just don't go to college. They have success in college.
Tell us about your offense, because I know you got a new quarterback this year.
Yeah, so offensively, we're going to, it's a lot of the same type of stuff. It's we're definitely a spread team. We have a lot of talent. We have a lot of speed, probably one of the faster teams we've ever had. But it's a lot of young kids. It's a lot of young kids in the 2 deep. We only have 2 seniors on the entire offense. So it's a lot of young kids, a lot of new kids. But I'm telling you, we're talented. We're talented, and we're going to do what Cocoa does. Like I'm excited for people to see what this version of Cocoa the offense looks like.
And then your defense, what can you tell us?
So defensively, we might be the best defense we've had since I've been here. We're big up front. We have a lot of seniors coming back. We have a lot of guys who played football. Our linebacker group and our secondary might be the best. I won't even say the state, but in the country. We have a lot of good-looking bodies that really fly around and play good football. And, Coach Minifield and the defensive staff do an unbelievable job. They do a great job of running multiple coverages, multiple blitzes, multiple stunts and twists up front. That, we're not one of those teams that's just going to play, man press the entire time and just out-athlete people. We're going to out-athlete you, but also out-think you and out-scheme you. And our guys take a lot of pride in that.
Well, that defense then give you a little leeway with the offense. Like, all right, there's so many young guys.
I'm still an offensive head coach, so there's no leeway. We're going out there to score some damn points.
I don't blame you, Coach.
Yeah,
I do. All right, real quick with recruiting then. Your players, especially because when you played, I bet there wasn't social media yet. Just like me when I was in college, there wasn't any. Not cell phones like now. How do you try to tell your players like, hey, you're getting these DMs from these college coaches? Like, how do you try to help them out to make the best decisions?
You just try to educate them and be there for them. You try to make sure that they understand everything that they're with communication, how they represent themselves, how they represent their family and their, what's important to them. But then again, you just have to trust your guys. You look at someone like CJ Hester, who's committed to play at the University of Florida. CJ's a kid that has a 4.2 GPA and has been taking AP classes since his 9th grade year, and just does everything you want on and off the field the right way. And when you have guys like that, it makes it more successful, makes it easier. But the big thing, and I want to give a lot of credit to the previous teams, is CJ's been lucky enough to sit there and see Richie Leonard and Freeman and Keziah Holmes and Javen Boggs and Brady and Hilson and all the guys that came before that have kind of showed them this is the way you have to do things. This is the way you have to do things on and off the field. This is the way you need to work. And that's where we talked about legacy. That's why I love that word legacy. It's what's your legacy going to be? How are you going to be remembered when you leave here? Are you going to be the example or are you going to be the warning? Are you going to be the, do it like Brady, do it like Boggs, do it like Hester? Or are you going to be like, do it like, or don't do it like this person because they did it the wrong way and they didn't have success. So, that's the important thing for us, is trying to educate the kids and trying to, use examples that we've seen in the past.
Love it, man. I love the rocking of the mustache as well.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, is that new? I just want to clarify that.
Yeah.
I'm not you went with it.
I'm not going to go into too much detail of who talked me into doing this, but, she's happy. And,
Magnum PI, baby.
Sometimes, I've heard, I look like Dale Earnhardt Jr. or Dale Earnhardt Sr. I guess it'd be Dale Earnhardt Sr. I heard that one. And then I heard some other ones that weren't so flattering, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm comfortable with it. I like it. It's clean.
Yeah,
it's nice.
It's like Magnum PI. You need the Ferrari.
So I've had a beard or goatee for probably 20 years. I forgot how manly of a chin I have. That's a man's chin right there. That's what that is.
Look, this is I haven't shaved in about 24 hours. So
that's the thing. That's the thing. Now it's waking up and shaving every day. I'm like, this sucks, man.
All right. By November, we're making the plaid push. Let's get the big hockey beard, like we're on the Florida Panthers.
No. People, there'll be a certain person who would not be happy with that. So we're gonna keep this mustache going, and we're gonna rock the stash. But so I told people I am a very superstitious person. And I can see the first bad practice we have. I'm shaving the damn thing off. And it's not working. We're going the beard back. So, but so far it's been good. So I haven't had to shave anything off yet.
I love the look on your face. You're like, finally, someone asked me about my mustache. Man,
it's the best thing. It's the best thing of all time. Yeah.
So when they do a Coach Schneider bobblehead night at some baseball stadium, it needs the mustache on there. That's what it needs. His name. Sorry.
Yep.
Okay. Coach Schneider, thank you so much for your help and have a great day and good luck on fall camp.